What happens when the rich feast and the poor can't afford bread? France in the late 1700s was beautiful on the surface. Ornate palaces, rich culture, and divine monarchy. But beneath the gold of Versailles, a storm was building. The people were starving, the economy was broken, and the crown was blind. While the nobility lived in unimaginable luxury, the streets of Paris were filled with hunger, anger, and whispers of change. Then came the spark that would ignite the fire of revolution. The people didn't just want food, they wanted their voice. On July 14th, they stormed the Bastille, a prison that symbolized royal tyranny. They didn't find many weapons, but what they really shattered was fear. The fall of the Bastille wasn't just the start of the French Revolution, it was the end of an age ruled by privilege. It sent a message across the world: the people can rise. He was born to rule, but could he survive his own people? King Louis XVI was no tyrant in heart, but he was trapped in tradition. His advisors couldn't solve the crisis. His reforms came too late. And when the people marched to Versailles, demanding bread and justice, it wasn't just a protest, it was a warning. The king and queen were forced to return to Paris, not as rulers, but as prisoners of the revolution. For a moment, hope rose. The revolutionaries declared liberté, égalité, fraternité, freedom, equality, and brotherhood. A new France was being born. But revolutions are rarely clean. What happens when justice turns into vengeance? In 1793, the revolution took a darker turn. The Reign of Terror began. Led by Robespierre, the guillotine became the law. Nobles, priests, even fellow revolutionaries, executed in the name of freedom. Fear replaced hope. Liberty had turned sharp-edged and cold. Robespierre, once a hero, became a tyrant. Eventually, even he was executed by the machine he once praised. By 1794, France was exhausted. The monarchy was gone, but chaos reigned. The ideals of the revolution had eaten themselves. And from this vacuum rose a new figure. The people wanted freedom, but they found an emperor. Napoleon Bonaparte, a military genius, promised order. He stabilized France, reformed laws, and gave the people pride again. But he also crowned himself emperor. The revolution had started to end monarchy and gave birth to another. The people found their voice. But could they hold on to it? For a moment, hope rose. The revolutionaries declared liberté, égalité, fraternité, freedom, equality, and brotherhood. A new France was being born. But revolutions, once awakened, are hard to contain. The people didn't just break into a prison, they broke history. On July 14th, they stormed the Bastille, a prison that symbolized royal tyranny. They didn't find many weapons, but what they really shattered was fear. The fall of the Bastille wasn't just the start of the French Revolution, it was the end of an age ruled by privilege. The crowds once roared. Now they watched in silence. Liberty had turned cold. Even Robespierre, the architect of terror, met the same fate. The revolution that promised freedom had begun devouring its own children. The dream was bleeding out. The French Revolution was more than a rebellion. It was a lesson. Power without compassion crumbles. Change without unity collapses. And history repeats for those who forget. Subscribe to Timelines of Mankind for epic stories that shaped civilizations. Hit like, share, and press the bell, because history isn't past. It's the mirror of our present.